looking at this lesson, studying this lesson, and when I looked at it again this morning, and you may want to do the same thing for yourself. I took a pen and I crossed out the word dreams. Because as I thought about it, then we discussed it in our classroom, that there's a difference between vision and there's a difference between dreams. Those two are not the same. And no bad remark or no bad anything bad on Dr. King, because I have a dream speech. But me personally, just with me and my generation, I have a problem with dreams. Because dreams happen when you sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
And we got too many people sleeping right now. We can look right now up on the hill, and we can see that we slept.
Yeah, that's true, Rev.
You got a Republican ran House and a Republican ran Senate, and you got a Democratic governor and a Republican lieutenant governor. And they cutting everything from Medicaid to Medicare to Head Start and everything else they can cut that benefit us. Why? Because we went to sleep. Our ancestors and the people that came before me, they had visions, because visions, the lesson says here, it says that visions is a supernatural revelation from God, giving as a communication in a visual image and possibly in verbal content. Our ancestors had visions. They had visions of freedom. They had visions of a better life. They had visions of a better tomorrow. They had visions of education. They had visions of financial wealth. They had visions. You know what? It took a vision for Miss Essie and her father to have a store right there in Mitchellville, Arkansas, and help found Mitchellville. That took a vision. You couldn't do that dreaming. See, young people nowadays, we sleep too much.
Amen.
We sleep too much. While everybody else is working and the world is passing us by, we are sleeping and we are dreaming. And dreams are just that. Brother Webb, so you can eat something, get too full, and then I'll have a dream, and it'll be a bad dream. And our dreams are turning into realistic nightmares. That's what's happening in this day and time. That's why so many of our churches are growing, because we're still dreaming of a church.
Yeah. Come on.
We're still dreaming. See, dreams require no work. And we much rather dream. Because that's a working dream. You just lay down, close your eyes, dream it happen. In a vision, that takes work in a vision. In order to have a vision of a better education, that means that you got to get off the telephone, you got to get off the video game, you got to get off of Angry Birds, you got to get off of Twitter, you got to get off of Instagram, you got to get off of Facebook, and you got to put your face inside of a book. And get something out the book and put it up here. You know what? Lil Wayne said something that was so profound. Out of all the people that say something, he said something that was so profound. He said, school is easy. All they doing is asking you to learn what's already written in the book. You don't even have to think about it. They already explained it. An algebraic equation is already explained. All you got to do is sit there, read it, comprehend it, understand it. A formula in chemistry is easy. It's in the book. But see, we spend our time doing too many other things. My children, God love them, I take the calculators. Give me the calculator. Add it up in your mind. My father was in the hospital just come out of surgery. Somebody called him on the telephone about a job. He's coming out of sedation now, and he adds up figures on a job being halfway sedated in his head. No pencil, no paper. And I can ask one of my children to add something up that's simple. I already know the answer, but I want them to do it. Hold up, let me get my calculator out. Yo, calculator. Church, I know everybody may have a vision for the church. But there's only one person that has the vision for the church. Because God talks to who? About the church. The one that he put over the church. Am I right about it? If you had 10 different pastors, you got 10 different directions that the church is going in. And we might as well admit it. Let's just be honest about it. Every church got a pastor, and you got several little pastors with several little dreams. But the little dreams don't amount to nothing when it comes to the big dream. Because the big dream is the dream, and the vision comes from the great visionary, which is God himself. And he gives that vision to the one that he's put over his people to carry out his vision. So what do? We are the workers of the vision. We don't know how to work the vision until we get the instructions. And until we get the instruction, the best thing for us to do is sit down, be quiet, and wait. We did it all the time in the military. Short did it in the military. I did it in the military. Other people in the military. Reverend Demary did it in the military. You see, the general had the vision of how the battle was going to be. And what we were supposed to do, we sat and we wait until he told us how the battle was going to be won. And then when he explained it to us, we didn't ask no questions at all. We just carried out our assigned duties. And when we did that, the battle was won. Why does that same thing not work in church? I'll tell you why I don't work in church. It's in your lesson. I ain't even got to tell you. It's in your lesson. I'm almost through. It's in your lesson. It says, why do some people, even those in church, seek power at any cost, even though it never lasts? Understand the last part first. If your power is not God-given power, it's not power. That's why it don't last. That's why it don't last. It's not God-given power. See, all the power of the church is not in the pew. I tell preachers now, we was taught wrong. The power of the church is not in the pew. The power of the church is in this right here. This is the power of the church right here. Yeah. Because this will never fade away. This is it. This will never, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do, you cannot argue with this right here. When you stand on this, there's no argument, there's no discussion, shut it down. If there's a problem in the church, this can shut it down. If there's confusion in the church, this can shut it down. If there's wrongdoing in the church, this right here can shut it down, straighten it out. This right here will send you and will bring you out of hold you in one spot until you get it right. So you got people in church that are seeking power. Why they seek power? Because everybody want to run something. Everybody want to run something.
Yes,
they want to run it, but they don't want to do the work it takes to run it. It's a lot. It's a lot of being a leader. It's a lot of being a pastor. It's a lot of being a deacon. It's a lot of being the choir president. Because when things don't go right, you let something don't go right in church. Who's the first person we're gonna blame? Who? But this Almets Missionary Baptist Church. This not Reverend Edward Demary Missionary Baptist Church. But when things go right, what do we say?
We need the church.
There it is. So don't worry so much about being in power. I'm questioning the person that's in power. Because let me tell you something. One thing I do know for a fact. If the pastor's wrong, God will deal with it. I ain't got to deal with it. I don't have to say one word. My job ain't to ask him. My job ain't to question him. My job is to follow. Because I found out the best leader is the best follower. And I'm going to lead other folks to follow. If you don't want to fool with me, don't follow. Because I'm following the person that's in front of me. And that's the pastor. He ain't behind me, he in front. So I'm going to follow him. So if you don't want to be with me, don't follow me, because I'm following him. So don't worry about being in power, because your power not going to last. Your power going to go away. It will not last. Now let me quickly talk about for a better tomorrow. You got to have something that Daniel had. You got to have something that Daniel, you got to do something that Daniel did. There was an evolution of preaching that happened when Daniel got the vision. Because Daniel had to change how the vision was written so everybody could understand it. This is something I've tried to teach preachers, I've tried to teach pastors, I've tried to teach churches. But very few people have gotten this, and I hope you all can get this. There's an evolution in preaching. There's an evolution in worship. There's an evolution in church. And when I use the term evolution, for those that know what I'm talking about, it means that it must grow, it must change with time. Now, this don't change. This stays the same. There's only one way to get saved. Confess with your mouth, believe with your heart that Jesus died and was raised from the grave. Let me tell you now, the white smoke that came out the stack for the man that they chose, that don't save you. I don't have to go in no little box and talk to a man sitting next to me about my sin, because he cannot do anything for me. Who the man I'm sitting next to in the box telling his sin to? Because he don't have it, because he's the Pope, he don't have any sin? You mean to tell me the Pope don't have no sin? You mean to tell me the Pope got a direct line to God and I don't? You mean to tell me I got to go into church and I got to bow down in front of the Virgin Mary and talk to Mary before I can talk to Jesus, before I can talk to the Holy Spirit? Well, my Bible tells me that Jesus said that he is the truth and the light, and no man comes to the Father but by him. And I got a problem with the black smoke. Why you got to have black smoke when there is no decision, and white smoke when there is a decision? I got a problem with that. I got a problem with 177 men going into a room by themselves trying to choose somebody to leave a church. They say the Catholic Church is the fastest growing church in the nation, in the world. I don't even believe that, because it ain't even about the Catholic Church, because when God comes back, he's not just coming back for the Catholic Church. He's coming back for that group, for that group of baptized believers. It's not going to matter whether you Catholic, whether you Baptist, whether you Church of God in Christ, whether you Pentecostal, whether you non-denominational. It's not going. Only thing that's going to matter is that you confess with your mouth and believe with your heart that Jesus died and was raised from the grave. Thus, it brings us to the evolution of the ministry of Christ. The ministry of Christ has to change. The way we put the word out there, it has to change. The word is the same. We used to get around on our feet. Then we moved to a horse and a buggy. From a horse and a buggy, we moved to a combustible engine inside of a Model T Ford. From the Model T Ford, we moved to Cadillacs, we moved to Dodges, we moved to other types of Fords, we moved to Chevrolets, now we done moved to airplanes, we done moved to trains, and we done moved to buses. Our mode of travel changes, but we still trying to give the same word to young folk in the same way that we got it when we was young. What do young folk know about wading in the water, children? What do young folk know about pass me not, O gentle Savior? But they do know about Ty Tribbett's victory, and they understand what Ty is saying. Ty is saying that through all things I got victory. They do understand about Joshua's children when Joshua said everybody clap their hands. We don't want young folk to move in church. We don't want them to dance in church. We don't want them to express themselves in church. And we done all forgot how we used to express ourselves when we first got saved. And we want a better tomorrow in our church and in our denominational affiliation. We've got to have a vision to change the way we do things. Because change is a vision of change is progressive. Troy said something so true. If you don't have young folk in the church, your church will die. You got to give them a reason to be here.
Yes, sir. That's true, Reverend. That's true.
If your wife or your husband does not give you a reason to come home, will you come home? no. You will find somewhere else to go. Because someone else will give you a better reason.
Yes, sir.
If you don't give young folk a reason
You can lose them.
to be part of your church, to be part of what's going on in the church, to have a say-so what goes on in the church. See, we deal with different young folk now. I'm just about to give me about 2 more minutes. We got different young. I got to speak for the young folks. They ain't asking me to speak for them directly, but they asked me to speak for them, so I'm going to speak for them. Y'all asked me to speak for y'all, right? So I'm going to speak for y'all. We deal with different young folks nowadays. 16 now is different from 16 when I was 16. They have different thoughts. They understand just a little bit more now than I did when I was 16. When I was 12 years old, I was still running around with Tonka trucks. I wasn't sitting in front of a computer, understanding how to do things. Didn't even know about a typewriter when I was 12 years old. You got 12 years old now, they know everything about it. They can teach you about a computer.
Amen. So true.
You got little bitty babies like back there that take that iPhone and do anything they want to do on that iPhone. So those are things we got to take into consideration. We got to make them part of the church. We can't wait until they get 19, 20 years old, get ready to leave home and go to college and expect them to still be part of the church and expect them want to come back to something they've never been a part of. That's not a vision for a better tomorrow. A vision for a better tomorrow is understanding that we need everybody and everybody needs us. So in closing, let us stop dreaming. Let us wake up. Let us wake up. And let us stop walking through life sleep. As long as we sleep, you're going to have young men sitting in church with earrings in their ear. You're going to continue to have them walking in church with their pants sagging. You're going to continue to have young ladies walking around with midriffs and then their belly stuck out. You're going to continue to have deadbeat fathers and single mothers. You're going to continue to have jackleg preachers leading folk down the wrong way. You're going to continue to have people in the church that disrespect each other and put on false love on Sunday morning, knowing that it's not true. You're going to continue to have all kind of things in church as long as we keep sleeping in the dream and don't wake up to a realistic vision. We quote the scripture that all things through Christ are possible. So if all things through Christ are possible, let us wake up together and let us stop dreaming and let us look at the vision that is standing before us, because God has laid out a great and marvelous vision before us, and He has given us all the tools. He's given us everything we need to make the vision a success and carry the vision to the next level. We just wake up and stop dreaming and see the vision. Doors of the church open.